Okay, so this video is how we test for bromide and chloride ions using silver nitrate. So we're going to have a look at the experiment first today. Here's my sample of chloride ions. The first thing I need to do to it is to add a small amount of nitric acid just to remove impurities. All good, so now all clean. So in case there's any carbonate or stuff like that in there so that it reacts and won't react with the reagents. The main thing that's going to test for my chloride and bromide ions is silver nitrate solution. We store these in these brown bottles because it breaks down in the presence of light, so that means that it lasts a little bit longer. So with chloride ions, when I add the silver nitrate, you can see that it makes this really bright white precipitate. Now if I have a look at the bromide by contrast, the bromide also looks like it produces a white precipitate. But if I compare them side by side, hopefully you can see the chloride one, this one, is much whiter than the bromide. So we say the chloride makes a white precipitate, the bromide makes a cream precipitate. So let's check out the equations and how those precipitates actually form. Okay, so here's my unknown solution, and if I'm testing for Br- or Cr-, the first thing that you do is you add dilute nitric acid, just like I did, to remove those impurities. Now, if you're smart and you've been paying attention, then you've probably realized that most of the time I use hydrochloric acid, so you should be saying, hold up, why are you using nitric acid here? Now the reason is that hydrochloric acid contains chloride ions. So if I use hydrochloric acid to remove impurities, what I'm really doing is adding chloride ions into my sample, which means that I'll get a false positive result no matter what was there to start with. So the second step of the reaction is that you add silver nitrate solution, which is AgNO3. And that reacts with my chloride ions, which might be in the form of KCl, it could be NaCl, anything bonded with a chloride. And it makes AgCl and KNO3 in a displacement reaction. Now the thing that causes your white precipitate is always your silver chloride solution. The bromide one works in almost exactly the same way, apart from your cream precipitate is coming from the silver bromide solution. If you're getting confused about which of the products is responsible for the precipitate, just remember what you're testing for. In this case, you're testing for bromide and chloride. So that means the product that contains those has got to be the one that's causing the precipitate.